welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly if you're new, and this is episode 3 of my Granny Square series. Today we are doing 5 and 6 of our Granny Squares. I'm going to show you, this week I'm going to show you the cards, the ones that I made, and then we'll do the last one together. And we're going to do that until it gets too complicated for me to be able to do it on camera. I will be honest, these got a little complicated, and I'm glad I didn't choose to do these ones in front of the camera. So let's get into those first. So 5 is called the linen stitch. And when I started it, I immediately messed up. So these cards have been, like I said, more complicated than I expected them to be, because the first one is just single crochet and then half double and then doubles. And I'm like, this is easy. This is easy. And we're just going to work our way up and do different types of stitches. No, that's not what this is. And don't let it fool you to thinking that it is easy, because it's not at all. So I immediately messed up and I had to frog everything because I saw, slip stitch and not a chain. So I had to, I don't remember what I was doing, but I was like, oh wait, that's a chain, not a slip stitch. And so I started and I was like, I'm gonna stop because this looks terrible and I've done something completely wrong, and that's just gonna have to be the way it is. So I'll show you. This was my first attempt. It looks terrible. If you can see, like, as a I don't want to say advanced, experienced. That's the word I'm looking for. Experienced crocheter, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of this because I should be able to do a straight line. I should be able to do a straight line. This should not happen with a simple square. It should not happen. And I was like, I hate this so much. So the granny square one has been lovely, and that's the one I've been doing on camera. And then I was like, okay, let's go to the next one and see. And then it was, much more complicated because the book does not tell you what this is. The instruction book does not tell you what that is. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And I tried to do a couple of things. I thought it was 2 together. And then I was like, I'm going to end up with a triangle. That's not what this is. This is supposed to be a square, not a triangle. I'm not doing triangles. So I went to YouTube when I got to this one. This is 6. It's called paired singles. And I didn't understand what that means, but I will know for the future. So if I get a paired double, I know what that means now. So I went to YouTube, and there is a bunch of people who are showing off these cards. So when I have trouble now, I will go straight to YouTube. That's how we learn things nowadays, right? I went to YouTube and I watched the tutorial, and they were very, very helpful. So after that, I had 1 or 2 problems. 1, I'm not used to reading patterns that look like this. 2, I was trying to do all the color changes that it came with. And if you've ever tried to do a complicated stitch for the first time and a color change, it doesn't work. So I took the color change out, and so this one ended up like this. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. That's amazing. It's a square. So I went back to YouTube and I tried the linen stitch again. it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Somehow this little corner ended up, the top ended up more. But it's better. But see, I took the color change out and it's better. So I'm not so mad about it. Also in this process, I have discovered kind of a good idea of what I want to do with all of these. I have a drawer. I've been putting them in my drawer. When I'm done, I found this thing called a chaos blanket. And that feels very on par for my little world over here. I tried a temperature blanket at the beginning of the year and it was just too much. But these little squares are not, because I don't have to, it's not I don't have to keep track of it every day. And I can take like 30 minutes, make my little cards. It's also 4, not 7. Keeping track of the temperatures. I was also doing the high and the low and joining as I go. So I had 3 colors every single day. And I was just like, I can't. This is, when you get behind, I got so far behind. Prepping because I had 2 really big markets back to back and I went into panic mode. And so I got really, really, really far behind. And that scared me so bad. So we're moving past that now. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I wanted to show you how bad it started off and what I was doing, and we're not gonna talk about that anymore. So now back to the granny square one, which I really like this one. So I started with, I actually did 6 just because 5 was easier to do on camera because it's just basic granny square. So that is how I did 6. I think it turned out okay. And so now I'm debating on whether I wanted to do the same or different. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the opposite. So the white is gonna be the center, because this is actually card 5 and card 6. So it's just a basic granny square, but the center is a different color. So that gets you to a point where you're so there's only like 1 color change. I was trying to think of what I wanted to say. Nope. Immediately did it wrong. So let me adjust this so you can see what I'm doing. I will say again, the designer starts these off with a chain and then into the circle, and I don't do that. Although I was trying to look ahead. Oh no. Look at what I did. It's chaos over here already. I was trying to look ahead, and the next ones are color blocks. And I'm gonna have to, I might have to go to YouTube to try and figure that one out. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with looking for a little bit of help trying to figure shit out. Excuse my language. I try really hard not to cuss on here, but I am a cusser. For sure. Yeah, this center works up pretty quickly. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then, oh no, I didn't bring my scissors, so I will show you my little baby square, and then I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so we finished up our square. It's super easy. Pretty self-explanatory. It wasn't even as complicated. Let me see if super easy. I think it's the complicated part is doing a color change and then the rest of it, because you either do a color change or where's my solid? There it is. Or you do a solid one. And so this one transitioned you from a color change into the rest of it being solid. So it just takes your brain to, but I now have, wait, there we go. Nope. Oh, I guess, yeah. I wasn't counting this as one of my squares, and I don't know why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. See, I'm not counting because these don't feel like regular granny squares, because when I think of granny square, I think of this. So I now have 6 adorable little squares. And I'm very excited about them. I'm excited at the end of the year to put them all together in a very chaotic way and make a chaos blanket. I don't know what I'll end up doing with my temperature blanket. I think I still want to finish the row so that it's at least complete, and then it can just be like a decoration, because it's really pretty, but I just can't bring myself to finish it. And I reached a certain point and I stopped recording even the temperatures. That even became tedious to do every day. I have ADHD to the absolute max, and I can't do the same thing over and 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 over. Even when it comes to my plushies, I have to go back and forth between the different styles of plushies, because I can't batch work either. So that's just not the way my brain works, and that's okay. So we've gotten through 5 and 6. I am also working on a granny square lovey. If you watch my other video, you'll know I talked about going back to making some more granny square. It's just a basic granny square at this moment. The one I'm currently working on. It's just a one color granny square. But I did follow her, their pattern, and so I did 3 in the corners and I slip stitched to get back to the corner, and so we'll see how that works, and then I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. I think I started to look ahead, and 7 and 8 are more complicated because it's half and half, and then it's half and half, and the 4 corners. So each corner is a different color, and we might have to find some help for those, and that's okay. So that's all we got. Those are our cards for this week. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the subscribe. Stick around. We got more chaos over here on this Granny Square series. And we'll see you next time. Bye.